Our story starts with the screams of a girl as her mother pleads whatever's inside her to get out, and a shaman works vigorously at her. But the only response we get are screams and growls, something out of this world. Something so shocking, even the shaman acknowledges there's something really bad wrong with her. He then asks what happened to her, and the mother says that she just collapsed one day at work, just fell on the ground at the theme park, and she brought her back here. She doesn't know what happened to her daughter. He quickly corrects her. This is not your daughter anymore. It's already taken her. And asks her what? The mother asks, what are you talking about? And he says, where is it? The place she worked, because that is where she left her soul. We are then greeted by the title card, a theme park of terror, a ghostly job. Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today we are reading the first of the Shriek anthology, A Ghostly Job. This is one of the better ones in my opinion and came out as a very interesting video. This is my first one, so I hope you guys really enjoy it and give me tips for anything you want to see in the future. Also, I'd like to shout out Grief because he's one of my more inspirations for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get straight back into it. We're fast forwarded 3 days into the future, and we're introduced to Bimbiyangwan, an abandoned mental hospital that was known for ghost sightings. But now it's been reopened as a horror theme park. We are then given the schematics of the theme park. We find out it is 400 meters long with more than 44 rooms. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to get through, and most pairs go in within 5-minute intervals. The more interesting part is that there are 30 shocking traps and 8 ghost actors, showing that this is a very large production. We're then introduced to a member of that production named Kyung-soo. He's a 23-year-old man who just finished military service and is just looking to make some money. He's one of those 8 actors, and with the offer that this place gives him, he's going to make that exact amount of money he wants. We then get to see how the theme park actually works as we see a girl playing scared and a man showing bravado, saying she has nothing to fear. He's with her. Then he has a chivalrous act asking her to hold his hand and asks her, "Are you okay?" Just then a terrifying monster jumps out at him and he runs, leaving his girlfriend behind. But she's a bit quicker to notice that this isn't an actual monster. It's a doll, one of those 30 shocking traps we heard about earlier. Though that's not what she should really be worried about, as we see a lingering figure behind her, a masked freak. As she revels in fear, the masked freak asks, "Are you okay?" It takes the mask off and shouts out, "It's Kyung-soo." He acknowledges how afraid she is and tries to help her to the exit. Meantime, he realizes he thinks she's pretty cute. He takes her to the exit and works up all the courage in his body to ask her a question. But before he can finish it, she runs off to her boyfriend. As he watches them, he notes he envies couples like these, and he walks upon another couple. He begins to chase them and thinks to himself, his real job is to break up these couples. I thought this was a bit funny, how they could even acknowledge his throat sore looking into the actual job that he's doing, rather than thinking of anything supernatural. We then see it's lunchtime, and what's presumed to be Kyung-soo's boss or manager tells everyone that there will be a shaman coming to film a show here, and he needs everyone to stay back and away from the cameras. The other workers seem very displeased, wondering, wait, what? They're not reporting on us? They really wanted to be on TV. The boss says of course they're coming to report on the hospital. You know all the ghost sightings and scary things that have been here? Even though none of them have seen them, they still understand. Then in an eerie moment, the boss talks to himself. How strange it is that Min-young and Ji-young-soo, who used to work here, suddenly got sick and quit, which we could assume is the girl from the beginning, at least one of them. And he talks about how it's really weird how he hears a strange noise every day. He's quickly brushed off as the workers say this is just part of the normal life here and seem way more convinced about being on TV than to even listen to what he's saying. Everyone except one person, Kyung-soo. Kyung-soo says it's really weird how 2 brave and healthy people suddenly got sick and quit just after 2 weeks of working here. But before he can continue, the boss shuts everything down and tells them to leave. The camera crew will be here soon and he has to take care of that. They just have to make sure that the robots are working. We then see the dinging noise of bells clanking together, and we see a very familiar robe, which shows us the shaman that we saw earlier. He says this place is filled with vengeful spirits. But now that we know his full occupation, it leans me more to believe that he's saying this for the TV show. I don't know how much he truly means his statement here. Before he can continue, a monster jumps out at him. He notes it's not a person as they jump back in fear, but quickly the boss steps up. says this is just one of their 30 shocking traps. The shaman attempts to keep his cool and pretend he wasn't scared, saying this puppet would obviously surprise a lot of people. We're then sent to a security room, where the guard there realizes that room 44's machine isn't working. He tries to see who the closest person there is, and realizes it's Kyung-soo. He then tells Kyung-soo to put some grease on the back of the neck of the robot. He also asks him to reset its on and off switch. Kyung-soo heads over there. As he informs us, his secondary job is to make sure that all the robots are working. We're then sent back into the shaman's perspective, where he says these are not just puppets. He asks if they did a ritual, some sort of sealing thing. The boss says no, that's just superstition. He doesn't want to do any weird things like that. They then ask, has the puppet been possessed by a ghost? The shaman says that poltergeists have taken over this hospital, and it has surely taken hold of this puppet. In this moment, I can't tell whether he says this for real, or whether he says it for the camera. I have to think, is this truly a shaman who's working for the good of people, or is he doing this just for his TV show? As if he could hear me, he says in his head, I have to find that girl's spirit. He knows that they're all mixed together and it won't be an easy task, but he'll figure it out. The boss asks what they should do now, and as he reaches into his pocket, he says it would be best to burn the puppets. The boss asks if he's joking, expecting him to pull out a lighter, but instead he pulls out amulets. Says, put these on the back of each puppet. The boss is relieved, asking, I just have to stick an amulet on them? The shaman quickly shuts that down, saying it's only a temporary measure. He needs to go get new amulets, so make sure no one is left alone with any of the puppets. We then see number 44, marking the final room, the one that Kyung-soo is going to fix a puppet at. He walks in feeling cold air running down his body, even though there's no air conditioning in the room. He points his flashlight forward and sees the puppet that he's there to fix, sitting there dimly in the room. He goes to the back to search through and see if he can find the grease. In the back, we see a lingering figure, slowly starting to get up. He finds the can labeled grease, but hears a sinister chuckle in the back. He thinks he's imagining it, but when he turns to go look, he screams in horror. Then just seeing that the puppet got up. It's the scariest one in the entire building. Why did they have to make its head spin all the way around? To make sure it doesn't move or anything again, he takes the hair and puts it over its eyes, making sure the sensors can't detect him. Shouldn't turn on now, right? Then he continues to do his task. He slowly applies the grease to the neck of the puppet and goes to reset the switch on its back. He finally thinks to himself he's done, and he pulls back the robe of the puppet, only to see there is no switch. In this moment, his heart drops, and he wonders why isn't there a switch. But in my mind, what I think he notices here is, if there is no switch, if the machine wasn't working, how did it get up earlier? How did it move its head around earlier? While these thoughts race through his head, he slowly points his flashlight up and notices its mouth is open now. He quickly falls back and we see his flashlight flickering. In the other room, the security guard asks, what's going on? Why is the camera not working? Hey, Kyung-soo, can you hear me? But Kyung-soo's not going to respond. Not now, and not ever. Then back in Kyung-soo's perspective, we see his flashlight flickering, and him sitting there not hearing any words the security guard says. All he can do is beg. He begs, help, please. Then the puppet runs at him and breaks its neck in the same way that terrified him earlier. Then there's a gap in time, but we see some of the workers have found Kyung-soo unconscious on the ground. They care to get him out before the TV crew can get there. They drag him away wondering what could have possibly made him pass out. What could have been so scary it sent him fully unconscious? Very quickly after, the camera crew arrives to the room marked 44. The shaman says it feels clean for some reason. What's wrong? They ask why isn't the puppet moving? The boss goes to flick the switch that wasn't there earlier. They stop him, saying that's enough. They got all the film they need. They ask what effect the amulets have. He coldly responds they trap vengeful spirits inside of puppets. And we're left with a still frame of the puppet that attacked Kyung-soo earlier, sitting there, coldly in that same dimly lit room. But we don't have time to think about that. The show's aired, and so many people want to come to this mental hospital. They want to see all the scary things they saw in that TV show. When asked about the show, the shamans asked, what did you hear there? What scary things did you hear those ghosts saying? He responds, screams. I want to leave. Just constant screaming. I want to leave. Then we see a bloody hallway more reminiscent of the mental hospital than the theme park that stands there today, with the screams, "I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave." And then we locate those screams. A room marked 44, with shaggy hair covering the face of an animatronic, saying, "I want to leave, I want to leave." We're matched with the stare, a blank stare from this animatronic, and a tear running from its eye. As for me, I'm still working there part-time as a ghost, a job he'll have there forever, as we see the soul of Kyungsu trapped by the amulet inside of the puppet. Our story ends without a proper conclusion. The spirit of the girl still lost, the spirit of Kyungsu trapped, and the evil spirit that was once in that room is now gone. We know this because he says the room felt clean. It felt clean because there wasn't an evil spirit there. It was just Kyungsu's. And that is the first story of the Shriek anthology. This is a very fun one to me, and I thought it was a very good story to start it on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, tell me down below if you want me to continue doing the Shriek anthology or any other stories that you like. This is very hard, high effort, so I hope you really do enjoy this, and please show me some support. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next story.